What's up, Rich? What's up, everybody? It's Too
What's up?
Generic. Welcome back to another weekly episode. How you feeling today, Rich?
Good. I'm glad to be back.
I'd like to see you back with that juice hoodie.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, real quick. I didn't even realize this. This just popped in my head, and I'm gonna go on my tangent because it just popped in. Look at this.
Yeah, you seen LiAngelo playing in Mexico now?
Yeah, LiAngelo's playing in Mexico.
Yes,
Jello,
sir. League's not ready for it.
Jello in Mexico. I'm adding that. We're gonna get back to that.
About to be averaging 35 in Mexico. Get
I
him
was
the
just on
deal.
Twitter this morning. I know he's gonna be averaging like 40. I was just on Twitter this morning. People were talking about, who are like your heroes. I don't know. It was a thing. So I seen this thing where people were listing their heroes and all that shit. I listed LeVar Ball like 30 minutes ago. He's on my top hero list.
He is.
And if you really think about it, what he did for the JBA, he started his own league. Why? Because NCAA wasn't paying their players. What happened within 2 years? He paid his players, gave them Jeeps, gave them a whole bunch of stuff. What did he do? College basketball starts letting players get paid. NIL, because LeVar Ball started his own league and showed, and he brought in hundreds of kids that were top ranked, stole them from colleges because they all thought they were going to D1. And then LeVar's like, I'll give you $60,000 a year. Come play in this league. Bet.
A man of the people.
He was a man of the people. And he changed the rules for the NCAA. Also, came out with his own athletic line and then told the NCAA, my kids are wearing the shoes. These are their shoes. It's not Nike. This isn't an endorsement deal. This is their own thing. And what happened? Same thing. More steps in NIL. People have their own clothing lines now. And look at your hoodie.
Ball control.
Ball control. And what did that do? It told everyone else in the industry, you don't need Nike to make your shoe. Go do it yourself. You could be your own brand. And that's what he did. He took NIL to the next level. And that's why Jaylen Brown's dropping juice hoodies, his own clothing line. He showed that players can do it by themselves. He showed you could start your own league. You don't have to worry about these other people. You don't have to get approval by anyone else. You start your own league. Start your own clothing line. And at the same time, he started his own reality show. He just started going live on Facebook, but then he edited it. No, but I'm serious. Like, as funny as it sounds, he took NIL to the next level and showed that you can do anything you want in the world. And don't let nobody tell you, oh, if you're not signed to Adidas, you can't make your own sneaker or whatever it is. Like, he broke down so many boundaries and barriers that it changed the way a $1 trillion business works. Like, this whole operation, NCAA basketball, Nike, Adidas, NBA, NFL, whatever. Like, if you combine this whole sports industry, $1 trillion industry, it was controlled by a few companies. And he came in and threw a middle finger up to everybody, and everyone kept putting a camera in his face going, look at this silly guy yelling, saying his sons are the best, not knowing they were giving him millions of dollars worth of free promo because they thought they were making a clown out of somebody. And in reality, he ended up making a clown of the entire industry and going, look, anyone could take you down. This silly guy that was yelling about his son being better than Michael Jordan has now threatened and changed the way y'all do business.
And 2 of his kids made the NBA, too.
3 of his kids.
Well, 3, yeah.
3 of his kids.
LiAngelo will be there soon enough.
He played 2 summer leagues in a row. If that's not saying you didn't make the league, I don't know what to say.
He made the summer league.
He made summer league twice.
Made the summer league.
And he gave buckets.
He was. They didn't give him much time, and he was still.
They didn't give him much time. He averaged way more than Scotty Lewis. Scotty Lewis was on the BS, turning over the rock every possession. I was there. I was at summer league both years. Yeah. And Jello averaged more than the majority of the team both years. Shot great percentages. Boards up. They're haters. They're complete haters. They don't want to give 3 kids from the same family an opportunity like that.
They can't have it.
They can't. They can't do it. The only way is if they were Vegas, like the holidays.
especially the oldest one.
Right, especially Drew.
The oldest holiday brother.
Yeah. But that was funny. I was just talking about this with somebody like an hour ago, and seeing you have just a juice hoodie just like triggered it. I'm like,
yeah.
I was already wearing this, but Man, it's just too funny, you know. But it really is what it is. Like, he's an entrepreneur. He was also a family man, straight edge. Promotes no drinking, no smoking. Makes his kids do the same thing, which I think you really respect. You're
Mhm.
straight edge. Like, he has been married to the woman he met in college, his college sweetheart. They both were Division I athletes. Like, everything about them is so positive, and they made him a clown.
Yeah.
He's not a clown.
He's your hero.
He's my hero, honestly. Like, he inspires me to do so much things and to just never feel capped. And that's like how I felt with like Top Shot. Like, there was a lot of things that when it was just starting out and I was trying to become a creator and do different things and try to catch eyes of other people and break into the sports industry, you know, I looked to LeVar Ball for a lot of my stuff. Like, it's really inspirational if you take a step back and really think about it without like the ESPN or the media narrative on it. You know, trying to do like the NFT All-Star game, start my own thing, and try to bring in creators and get sponsors and just kind of create my own thing right there. And I had Andy stream it, and we got people calling in, people flying in from all over. Like, it was a revolution that needed like the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all about tapping into the people and making something better, because the big brand won't show the people no love in the right way. Like, they're not throwing events for people, but they're talking about communities all the time. They're talking about this and talking about that. Like, people talk in the air. Oh, these players deserve more. Blah blah blah. So give them NIL. Give them what the people want. And what the people wanted was a Top Shot convention, and I threw one. And then 2 weeks later, the owner of Top Shot tweeted out, "Hey guys, we're gonna throw a Top Shot convention." And then they did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain shit like that. I met with Rick Barry because I already had the connections with Rick Barry. I do a Top Shot giveaway where I record me and him opening a pack, and we give away moments from there and all this other stuff. And it was the best bit of marketing Top Shot's ever had. Right. They posted it. They did all this stuff. If you look on my Twitter, it's got over 500 likes, almost a million views, all that shit. So it's like, They've never had any marketing like that. And then they brought in Kevin Durant to open a pack months later. And like, he was a dud. The person who was sitting with KD couldn't get the energy out of KD the way I did with Rick Barry, because one, I have a personal relationship with him. Two, I do have a bit of like a boyish generosity,
you had a certain
genuine energy. What?
Yeah. You had some kind of certain excitement about it.
Yeah, certain excitement. You know, I like this. I'm not just paid to put here. Yeah. Like, I'm not just paid to be here. Like, I want to be here. I'll do it for free. Like, this is just fun to do something like this, because I open packs with like you as a kid growing up, and your dad and my dad, and like, you know, the whole sports world. And now I'm opening up a pack with Rick Barry talking basketball. Like, it just was so cool. And I think people who care and people who have grown up and it's like a culture to them, like, it's just the next step. Like, you're ripping a pack with a Hall of Famer, a former pro. Other people want to see it. Different things. Like, I made badges for Top Shot, which they now have. If we go back on this YouTube channel, you look back at the old videos, I made 10 different badges myself on an app on my iPad, graphic designed them all. Now they dropped 3 out of my 10 badges that I drew up. And that was when Top Shot first came out. Now they're doing that. You know, like, certain things, like, I try to just push the envelope a little bit, you know?
Yep.
Do different things. And I don't know. That's just all I was saying. Like, he inspired me to do my own thing, and I fuck with it heavy. And he inspired Jaylen Brown to do his own thing.
He did.
He did, you know?
Biggest baller of them all.
Biggest baller of them all. And on All-Star Weekend, we could start off with Jaylen Brown in the dunk competition.
Oh, Jesus. That was a mess. I can't. You saw it. You saw what he did in practice, though.
Yeah.
He would have done that. But I didn't even understand. Like, he made the dunk and then he put his arm over his eyes.
I know.
It was like, that just made the dunk 10 times worse.
It made it worse, right? On the come down, and it looked like he dabbed more than he de-browned, if that makes sense.
It did, right? It did look like he did some kind of dance move. But the big problem was because he had that bum Jason Tatum lobbing him the ball. That's why.
It was
If
the
it wasn't
bum Jason
if it
Tatum.
wasn't for Jason Tatum, he would have made that dunk. He would have done the D Brown dunk. Disgust me.
Did he? How come he didn't pull out an old Celtics jersey?
He pulled out the who was that kid that passed?
Terrence.
He pulled out that jersey.
What was his name?
Clark? Terrence
Clark.
Clark. Yeah,
Yes,
Terrence Clark.
Terrence
He pulled
Clark.
out that jersey.
Yeah.
You should have pulled out a Bird jersey.
No, he should have pulled out. Yeah.
Or the D Brown. Yeah, the D Brown jersey would have made more
Why
sense.
not wear the D Brown? So, do you know why Jaylen Brown wore number 7? So Celtics have a theme of doing this. Remember, Kemba took Antoine Walker's number.
Yep.
Took number 8.
Number 8.
So that old fans of the Celtics could wear their Antoine Walker jersey and support Kemba. And it was a way to also save money for fans. Like Kemba said that. He said, just in case, like old stuff, like you don't have to spend new money to be my fan. There's still number 8 Walkers floating around out there that you could get for cheap. You don't need to buy like a new pair of sneakers or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to save kids money. He knew. That's what he said. He was like, I'm not going to come out with a new number. I'll just wear an old Walker. And that's what Jaylen Brown did. D Brown wore number 7. Jaylen Brown wears number 7. And that same thing. 7, Brown on the back. And then for the dunk competition, he copies D Brown. Like it's like written. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was predicted. But then he doesn't do the D Brown dunk until he lands.
It just made no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was so perfect. It was lined up for him. Like everything was lined up perfect. All you had to do was do this before you jump. And then instead he does it after. And when he's landing, he does the D Brown. It's kind of cool.
And I can't believe he got the score he did. The judges were terrible.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was so rigged. They judged him based on the dunk he should have done. They were like, "Oh, that was the D Brown," but it wasn't.
Or if they bring props or something, I feel like they add to the score if they bring people out.
I know. They brought a Hobbit, Kai Cenat, out there. He's 5'3", and it's like Mac McClung's jumping over Shaq, who's 7'3", and you want me to be impressed because Kai Cenat's on live on Twitch streaming it?
The chair is taller than him.
Right, the chair is damn near taller than Kai Cenat.
So what's the point? Just jump over 2 chairs or something.
Yeah.
Put one chair on top of the other. But I thought Jacob Toppin, his dunk was crazy. And he got like a 47 point something for it. He should have got that's a 50 to me.
Yeah,
that's a 50 dunk to me.
Toppins was at least a 49. And the reason why it was cool was because that was his brother's dunk.
Yep.
Like the whole thing was about kind of like homage and everything else. And, there was the Dominique Wilkins part where Jaylen Brown like brought out the Atlanta jersey or something to do with the Dominique Wilkins jersey. You seen that?
No.
There was a dude running around in a Dominique Wilkins jersey.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Well, I figured it was with like something to do with Jaylen Brown because he's from Georgia.
Right.
And he's probably going to go play for the Hawks eventually.
He better not. I don't know what conspiracy theories you're talking about. He better not be doing that.
I think Jaylen Brown might be leaving. I don't know.
Oh no, don't be saying that.
Let me hold my tongue on that one.
Chill out. Wait until the offseason.
But yeah, it was like I feel like everyone was trying to pay homage to something this dunk contest, and Jaylen Brown. I don't know. I mean, the one good thing. I mean, he did it for Terrence Clark.
Yeah.
That was nice. He's a Boston kid. He passed away in Kentucky. He died in a car accident with Brandon Boston, who plays for the Celtics. I mean, the Clippers.
Clippers. Yeah.
Boston slipped out. Boston, but he plays for the Clippers. Yeah, I don't know. R.I.P. to Terrence Clark. But yeah, he got a car accident with B.J. Boston in college, and he died. Boston was in the car behind him. I don't know if they were street racing or something like that, but I know that it was 2 of them in 2 separate cars. Next thing you know, he gets in an accident, and B.J. Boston was like the only witness or something to the accident. It's really sad. Shout out to Jaylen Brown for showing love to a kid who would have made the NBA. More than likely, he was a top-ranked player, and he's local. to where, Jaylen Brown plays. So who knows if that, connection or relationship ever built. You never know, because these top-ranked players, like, they go around, they see players, they go to different tournaments. You never know. Jaylen Brown and all these players, like, have their own AAU team, and their teams could have crossed paths. Whatever it was, I'm happy he showed love to him, because he was a kid that could have made it, should have made it, but didn't get to, didn't have the luxury. So,
Right.
RIP. But yeah, it was just weird, Other than that, I don't know. The homage was wasted with that. I did like the bars, Mac over Shaq back to back. That was cool.
Yeah.
Happy for him. He gets to win it. He does seem to be like this ringer that they shouldn't bring next year. Like, let Mac McClung sit on ice for a couple years.
But I don't know. To me, like, his dunks this year, they almost seem too easy for him. So it just made it not as exciting or something.
Yeah. I will say the first time you see it, it's like incredible.
Yeah, it's still incredible either way, but he made it look so easy that I don't think nobody really reacted like that in the crowd like they did last season.
Yeah. No, I was watching the Spurs game the other night, and I seen Wemby do some move, and he just pulled up from mid-range and was all net.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't react to it the same way I did in the beginning of the year. I'm like, this is just Wemby now.
Yeah, you're so used to it.
Like, I'm seeing him cross over, pull up on people from behind the nail. Like, he's nice. He really is.
Yeah.
It took it took a little while to figure out, what he was doing. And I think it was just the point Sohan was kind of just making the offense a little weird. He was playing power forward. He's a center. It just is what it is. He's a center.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing that, like, now I'm not as impressed. And Mac McClung is like another freak of nature that you just see him do some stuff for so long. You're like, I seen that on Instagram. You uploaded that 3 years ago. Like, I already seen that from you. We've seen everything from Mac McClung. But he's a real baller. He averages like 25 in the G League. It's not like he's just some freak show who knows how to dunk.
And he's with I feel like he could play for the Magic.
Yeah, I think he's with the what's it called? Ocelot or the Oswego, something like that.
I feel like he could be on that roster, though.
He could. I mean, he might be better than Cole Anthony.
I don't know. I don't know. Cole Anthony's played really well this year.
Cole Anthony's solid and stuff, but I don't know, Mac.
Does he draw the numbers, though?
The thing is like Mac McClung and Cole Anthony are probably around the same player. I think Cole Anthony's he's a little more polished.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather Cole Anthony, to be honest, but yeah, he could get run. They need guards. They need somebody to have some spark, and I think he could do it. If Cole Anthony ever gets hurt, I'm 100% sure Mac McClung could fill in and play for a little stretch and do what Cole Anthony does.
Right. So for the other parts of the All-Star break, I thought the skills challenge is still trash. I think they ruined it.
Oh yeah.
When the individual people, it was perfect, and then you had, one player set a certain time, and you'd have to hit that time or be under the time. That was fine. I don't know why they changed it. It was perfect the way it was.
Yeah, it was. You're right. You are right. They did have it good the previous years. This year felt a little wonky.
But they've had this where they have, 3 sets of 3 teams for a few years now, and I think it's terrible. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The one thing that this skills challenge did for me is differentiate who the hell is going to be the GOAT of the next generation, and it's Wemby.
Has to be.
Because Anthony Edwards trolled it.
He did. He was shooting with his left hand.
He trolled it. He's not fully Michael Jordan the way everyone claims he is. He doesn't got the killer instinct. He really doesn't have it. That proved it. And Wemby said, I didn't come here to lose. I wanted to win everything. And then after, Wemby said, you know what he said he wants to do? Which I've never heard anyone say this, especially a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wants to win every competition All-Star Game has by the end of his career.
That'd be pretty cool.
That means Wemby wants to participate in a 3-point competition.
And the dunk contest would be crazy.
Dunk contest, 3-point competition, then obviously All-Star Game. So he wants to win All-Star Game MVP, 3-point contest, slam dunk, and skills. Like, I've never heard LeBron say that. I've never heard any of these guys say, I want to do all of this. Giannis did a slam dunk competition. He lost. He was too tall. That's the one fear I have about Wemby. You know, you had Giannis who was like 6'11", 7 feet doing these dunks, but he was just doing like two-hand big man dunks. I don't think Giannis understood it back then.
Yeah, he's a good in-game dunker.
Right, great in-game dunker, a lot of ferocity, but creativity, no. Wemby,
That's
if I
only
was Wemby, I would bring out a 12-foot rim. I would jack up the rim to 12 feet and just throw a nice one down on like a 12-footer.
Didn't Dwight Howard do that?
Something. I think he did something higher.
I think they boosted it up to 12 feet.
Something like that. He needs to bring back like an old thing like that. Or, I don't know. Remember JaVale McGee? They brought 2 rims and he dunked.
That was really cool.
That was so cool.
He didn't get enough love for that.
And Wemby's longer than McGee. So,
he
like,
really easy. He could
do some – they could separate him even further and it would just look insane.
Yeah, if McGee could Wemby, if he could do it, Wemby definitely could.
Right. If McGee could do it, Wemby can. So, could be something cool like that. It's going to be hard for him to just dunk on a 10-foot rim.
Right.
You know, it's just like his feet barely leave the ground. It's hard to give him bonus points for that.
Because it just looks so easy.
Yeah, it looks too easy. So
it's not even impressive. Or it doesn't.
I know, and it was hard to come back from the Nate Robinson years for the NBA because nothing looked cooler than seeing Nate Robinson dunk.
And then Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon saved it.
Right, and then they saved it because for a few years it was really whack. It was like Derrick Jones Jr. just flying in the air, but not really.
But then they had
what was his name from the Jazz? Who was the dude with the hops?
Was it Jeremy Evans?
Jeremy Evans.
I
knew it was Jeremy something, but I was like, it's not Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Evans.
He was made for that.
He was. See, that's like a freak show. Like, can't really ball like that. Couldn't really ball like in the G League. Wasn't getting numbers. Nothing like that. Like not like McClung. Like McClung's not in like the Jeremy Evans class. Jeremy Evans is just like an athlete. Mm-hmm. That's it. Not a baller. What else? What do we have? We had the Dame Lillard 3-point competition. He went back to back, which was cool.
Yeah. The 3-point contest is always good.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's consistently been really good. I thought the highlight of the weekend was Sabrina Ionescu and Steph Curry.
Right, Sabrina and Steph. Sabrina makes the first 7. Steph has a cold start. It was cool. For a second, I'm like, oh, Sabrina's got this.
Yeah. She could really shoot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
She was made for that competition, too.
And that's NBA range. That's not WNBA range.
I know. That's what makes it even more impressive.
And she went in there and killed it.
And then Kenny Smith was all upset. He was like, she should be using a men's ball or something. Or he was like, oh, she's using a WNBA ball, so it's not as impressive or whatever.
I know.
Kenny Smith was off the rails.
Talking about that, too.
He was going off the rails all night. He was so upset about all those All-Star festivities.
He was, but
he was upset at the dunk contest.
When he did it for the Sabrina challenge, it was fucked up in a way. Like, yeah. I know the girls' ball is slightly smaller, so that means it's slightly easier to get it in the NBA hoop.
But she has smaller hands too. That doesn't balance it out, you don't think? No.
I get what he's saying, but you don't say that during that competition.
Yeah, especially
It's a fact, but it doesn't need to be because she doesn't play with a men's ball. She plays on a 10-foot rim the same way. The only thing that's, if anything, you need to give her more credit because her 3-point line is now extended.
But the other thing is,
it doesn't matter about the ball.
But the other thing is, like, she does shoot deep threes.
I mean, she shoots incredibly deep threes.
A lot of the threes she makes are deep threes. I mean, like Dame Lillard threes.
Right. Sabrina shoots deep threes no matter what, but regardless, they moved her line back. She's making it on an extended line. She's already handicapped. Steph Curry is shooting the same ball, the same line, the same rim, the same everything.
Yeah, so she was the one who had to make adjustments.
Sabrina is the one who had to make adjustments. You don't make her make 2 adjustments. You don't make her do extended line and a new ball that she doesn't even play with. That's a new sport. She plays women's basketball, which uses this regulation ball.
Right.
That's like if you had a softball girl come and throw pitches with a baseball. Obviously, she's not going to throw a baseball right. She doesn't play baseball.
And that ball is heavier.
Right. The men's ball is heavier and it's bigger. It's a new sport.
And
as
you
soon
have
as
to
you change the ball, it's a new sport. So
you have to have big hands too. You have to have real big hands. I couldn't throw a softball with that kind of speed. I can't even grip a whole softball like that.
right.
So make it even more difficult.
Right. So yeah, it's a new sport once you include the new ball. So I thought Kenny saying that it's kind of like when they say like they should lower the rims for girls to dunk. It's not about that.
Right.
It's the fact that every school in the country and in the world now is built with a basketball court and they're all at 10 feet.
But I think one day we could see, a lot more women dunking. I mean, we already seen that.
That's the other part is just there are women who have been able to dunk. It's not impossible, and it's fine. Leave it even. We all hoop on a 10-foot rim. That's it.
But you also just have to wait for the game to progress because you just see the talent from 25 years ago to now. It's night and day. So you just have to give some time and be patient.
Like you're more of an athlete than Bob Cousy.
Exactly. See?
If you Google pictures of Bob Cousy,
yeah,
like
you see his form.
I mean, let alone the shooting form, but like his build, like he literally looks like a Magic the Gathering player or something. Like
Yeah.
he looks like he's never touched a weight in his life. He's just sitting there like just with his cards and pushing his glasses up.
He did no work. He was smoking a 6-pack.
Right.
He was smoking a pack of cigarettes before the game started.
He was smoking a pack on the court. The ref passed him the match. Not even a lighter. A match.
Yep.
This is so far back in the day.
Oh.
They're just lighting up on the court and but seriously though, like It was just a different era back then.
It was.
Really can't compare eras, but yeah. But if you really think about it, like Bob Cousy wasn't dunking, but every point guard in the NBA now can dunk.
Yeah, so you just have to wait.
So Brittany Griner wasn't the first dunker, but like she's kind of started a new wave of women wanting to dunk again.
Yeah.
Because Lisa Leslie did it, but for years, like no one else really could, and it was kind of a waste of time. And then the girls that could were trash, didn't really know how to play basketball. So it was just this like balancing act of like when Yao Ming and Shaq were in the league, people were just bringing in 7'5" guys just to play against them.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a skill thing anymore. It was just match this freak show for a little while, and then we'll figure it out. Well, I think the same thing will happen for the women's game. Eventually, maybe a quarter of the league, 25% can dunk in the women's league.
Yeah.
Something like that, to where Griner's not this freak show that throws down 2 dunks a year and everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah. And we've never seen certain players, even, that are in college right now. The WNBA hasn't seen it. I mean, obviously we don't know how they're going to play in the WNBA, but have we ever seen anybody like Caitlin Clark?
No.
Have we ever seen anybody play like Juju Watkins? And she's only a freshman.
Yeah,
so it's like
Watkins got some game to her. Even Cameron Brink. Don't sleep on her too, because she's nasty. She gets triple doubles and points, rebounds, and blocks. She's incredible. I don't know who to compare her to in the NBA. Maybe she's like Cat, if Cat had heart.
If Cat had a heart.
Like, because she really plays hard and she's a great player.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's hard to find someone who even matches her game in the league, because what she does is so incredible. She's a stretch 5 and can just do a lot of things.
Yeah, so we're really seeing things we've never seen before. I mean, just imagine what it's going to be like 10 years from now, or 10 or 15 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think? What's her name? Rickey? You think she's as good as Diamond Miller? Who would you rather have? Diamond Miller, like there was last year's class and this year's class. Who's the small forward? Who's the wing that you would love to have? Would you rather have Miller or would
I don't know. I'd rather. I think I like Diamond Miller.
Me too.
I like Diamond Miller.
I like Diamond Miller a lot. She's
Yeah.
huge for a guard or like a wing. Huge, and like her strides when she drives, they remind me of like I don't know KD or like Giannis. Her legs are so long, and when she takes 2 steps and just she blows by everybody, and it's almost not even speed. It's just perfect form in her strides.
She got a beautiful spin move too.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, a real nice spin move. Yeah, I think
breaks that spin move out too much. That's why she fucked her ankle up, though.
Yep. Can't have that Alyssa Thomas spin move, though. No one will have the Alyssa Thomas spin move.
No one has the Alyssa Thomas spin move.
Touchable.
She learned that from Dwight Freeney. That spin move, she's like a defensive end. The way she just
for real.
That spin move real quick. Boop.
That's like, I don't know. That's like a Curry 3 or something, or Shaq in the paint. It's like she's not gonna miss that when she's got the spin move.
Right, when she's got the spin, when she already has her shoulder on you and she knows where you are, it's a wrap.
It's over.
Yeah.
Just inbound the ball. That's it.
Right, just inbound the ball.
Just get out of bounds to get ready to inbound the ball because that shot's going in.
Right. Oh, that's so true. Anything else? Well, let's wrap up this WNBA thing. So we got the draft coming up. The Fever have the first pick. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is going 1. And then there's a lot of rumors about number 2, Cameron Brink, going to the Sparks.
And they need a big.
You know, I was hoping Azurá Stevens would, be the big this year for them, but I don't think so.
She could probably still be in the starting lineup. She'll probably be the 4, and Brink will be the 5.
Yeah, because that's the problem. Is Stevens is more of a 4 than a 5, even though she's like one of the tallest players in the W. She's got more of a forward game.
Yeah, and she can shoot the 3 once in a while too, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
I like Azure's game, and I think she's a really good teammate. It seems like on Instagram, you probably follow a lot of WNBA players too. Have you ever seen them like all posting their friends? I feel like every time a WNBA player sees Azurá Stevens, they post her, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love Azurá."
Yeah, I see that in college basketball a lot for women's.
Yeah, they'll post like friends and stuff from all over. But just like over the past couple of years, I've seen it. Like a lot of players, like Gabby Williams or someone like that. Like they'll see Azurá Stevens somewhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, we're playing Azurá tonight," and they'll make some little video and like, "Oh, I get to see her." So it seems like she's a good teammate. Seems like she's a good person. That's mainly what I'm saying, and that matters in the league. Like if you have a good teammate, that means she's a big that doesn't really box out and stuff, but like she's not like
she doesn't play like her size.
Yes, but she's also not delusional either. She's not just like some skinny big who's like I get bored, blah, blah, blah. Like she's just like no, I hoop. I try hard. I can't rebound. I can't she's not someone who's going to hit someone with an elbow as soon as they touch the paint. Like somebody cutting through the paint, she's not going to check. Like that's just not her. She doesn't play a physical game.
Yeah, she knows her game. She
seems nice. She passes well. Good teammate.
Right.
I'm happy for her. That's what I was saying though. I thought she was going to be the starting center this year, and I'm like, I'm rooting for her. I really am. She's always fun. She plays hard. But, yeah, there's just no boards for her.
Right.
They would get eaten alive if she was the starting center. So, most likely, yeah, you're right. Cameron Brink's probably going to start from the jump. She's going to have Azurá next to her at the 4, or maybe Azure's backing her up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Have to start. Los Angeles doesn't have much left.
Because they lost NECA.
Yep.
So, we'll see how it goes. Brink is a beast on the boards, double-double machine. And then you got the spacer next to you. So it seems like a good fit, low-key. It seems like a good fit. Right. We'll have to see it on the court. What else? So you said Raquel Jackson.
Yeah, because Paige Beckers was supposed to be number 3, but she's coming back for her 5th year eligibility.
Yep.
So
with Raquel, how you feeling about that going to the Sky?
She's gonna have to carry. They don't have much left. She'll average somewhere in the teens. Average like high teens or something. They got nobody else.
That's true. So you know how I've been doing the NBA fast break. So for WNBA, that they're doing a fast break for WNBA as well.
Yeah.
So I've been looking, and I'm trying to find some like low spots where I could find like a cheap buy, and also just like kind of be ahead of the game. So I
Mhm.
found an Elizabeth Williams Top Shot debut. It was $1. I was like, hell yeah, I think Elizabeth Williams is going to be good next year or this season. By the time the season comes around, that might be like a $3 card because people are going to realize like, oh, Elizabeth Williams, she gets 6 to 8 boards a game no matter what. So if there's a night you need rebounds, Sky are playing, you already know you're going to start Elizabeth Williams. You have to own her card to play her. So I bought Elizabeth Williams, and then I also bought a who was my other big? Oh, it wasn't a big. It was Rebecca Gardner because she signed with the Sky in the offseason. So I bought Rebecca Gardner just in case. I know that the Sky are like loading up on a bunch of random players right now. Like they got Kennedy Carter recently, Kysir Gondrezic recently as well.
Yeah.
So it's like they picked up some wings, some guards. I think Rebecca Gardner is still better than them at that position. So I'd rather have Rebecca Gardner.
I would too. She's gonna have a really good season.
And she's coming off an injury. I hope she's all right because she's older. She was a rookie a couple years ago, but that doesn't mean she's fresh out of college.
Yeah, she had that foot injury like 3 or 4 games in the season.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She's older too. Like,
yeah.
Let me see, Rebecca. She might be like 32, 33.
Yeah, she's older.
Which is older in the WNBA.
And this will be what, her 3rd season, right? In the WNBA.
Yeah, I think this will be her 3rd season. So hopefully she comes back and she does solid. But yeah, because after that, I already know they got Mabry. She's going to be the star of the team.
I forgot about Marina Mabry, yeah.
So Mabry's the only bucket. You got Diamond DeShields, who's like a defensive player, really. Great defensive
She shoots
player.
a lot. I can't stand her game. She shoots so much.
She does. She's a little bit of a bust. But she went through so much stuff with her surgery. She damn near died.
But she's going to get buckets. It's going to be her, Mabry. It's going to be her and Mabry getting all the buckets.
Right. And Gardner's probably going to be setting people up, getting a steal or 2 a game as she does. She's solid. I really like what Rebecca Gardner does. And that's why I picked her up. Because I already have a Mabry. But I picked up Gardner for the nights where it's like 25 assists and 5 steals. Like, that's a Gardner night.
It is.
You put her in, she's going to get you maybe 4 or 5 assists, 3 assists, 2 steals. She's just that good fill-in piece on one of those nights. And that's why I picked up Rebecca Gardner. But Chicago Sky, I mean, they're going to need Rickea Jackson. The more and more I look at it, you lost Elena Smith, and
you lost Kalia Copper, Courtney.
Right, obviously Copper, who's a guard.
And Courtney.
Courtney Williams.
They lost a lot.
Yeah, but they picked up Michaela Iyenware.
How
do you say her last name? Iyenware. So they picked her up from Phoenix, which was a pretty solid pickup. She plays hard.
And she won Rookie of the Year with the Liberty, too.
She did. She won Rookie of the Year. She could hit a 3. She just never took that extra leap. She was like a Brogdon winning Rookie of the Year. She wasn't ever going to be a star. It wasn't like a sign that this is like the next step. It was more of she just came into the league a pro-ready player. And most of the other rookies that year were not pro-ready.
And because her numbers weren't even that good that year either.
That's what I'm saying. Her numbers weren't the best. She just played every game. She was consistent. She played hard. And she got the respect of her peers. And I think that's what it just came down to that rookie season, to where everyone just said, yeah, she's a pro. She's a pro. Right. She's good. She'll be here for a little while. She's not going to be a star. She's going to be a 4th option at best. And that's just what it is.
Right.
Who else does Sky have? I mean, Lindsay Allen, she's just a good vet. She'll be like another Rebecca Gardner. I
didn't even know they got Lindsay Allen.
Yeah, they got Lindsay Allen too. That's what I was saying. They picked up a bunch of these like guards that are kind of like shooting guards, kind of like Kysir, Lindsay Allen, even Kennedy Carter. I never thought she was the best set you up point guard. She's just kind of like a ball handler.
Yeah, they have a lot of good role players.
They do. They do have a lot of good role players. Dana Evans is the only set you up point guard that they have.
Yeah.
And she's not like top in the league, but she's good. She's a feisty little Mighty Mouse.
But I like the way Allen, sets up the offense, though. I think she could be the starting. I'd put her at the starting point guard,
I
and then
do. I like Lindsey Allen too.
but Mabry at the 2.
Yeah, Mabry at the 2.
And
Ayanware probably at the 3. I don't know if they're going to start. They might have Lindsey Allen come off the bench because they love Dana Evans.
but they could start. They could have DeShields at the 3.
They could have DeShields at the 3. You're right.
I'd rather have. I think I'd rather have DeShields at the 3.
It depends how like ugly this offense can get. Because if like Mabry, let's say that offense really isn't going good, Mabry's going to be your star, and already she's going to be putting up tough shots.
Yeah.
So if she's putting up ugly shots, I don't want to see DeShields be like, if Mabry can shoot that, I can.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the Sky just look a mess right now. Seriously. I mean, you're going to get Raquel Jackson in there at power forward. They don't really have a 4, to be honest. It might be Michaela. Other than that, I mean, Brianna Turner, she's going to play hard, but
she has no hands.
Yeah, you're not going to go anywhere with Brianna Turner at power forward.
She's got no touch. It's crazy how bad her hands are and how many layups she misses.
Yeah, but I love Elizabeth Williams. You know, she's not a star. She's just like there. She's a great big. She's like a Zubac. You just know what you're getting from Elizabeth Williams. You're getting boards. You're getting some defense. You're getting some great screens. She's not going to force up shots. She's never going to shoot outside of 10 feet.
Could be MIP this year.
Could be. If she really gets enough. And this is why I want to talk about Elizabeth Williams, is I think if they don't draft a big, she's going to put the team on her back. She's not going to be 20 and 10, but she's going to be, 11 and 10. 10 and just like a solid double-double type player.
Yeah.
She's going to get her garbage buckets. You don't have to run a play for her ever. She's not that type of player. I just really like her. She's going to always get her numbers. She's going to try hard. And you're not even going to realize she is doing anything until the third or fourth quarter. You're like, God damn, Elizabeth got 11 rebounds tonight already, and we still got a quarter to go. She's dogging us.
And that Top Shot card is going to be worth more.
Well, yeah, because one, if she becomes respected as a better player, yes. But 2 is her Top Shot debut, and she only has 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only 2,000 Elizabeth Williams cards, which isn't even all of the people who play Top Shot. So that's good. It's scarce, and which means the second it's needed for something, people are going to buy it up, and then the price goes up.
Right.
So yeah, I think the Sky are going to be a weird squad, but yeah, I think that's going to be the opening for me is the Elizabeth Williams part, and then I was thinking about buying a Marina Mabry rare just because I know Mabry's going to put the points up.
Right.
I also was thinking about a NECA rare. NECA is one of the cheapest cards on Top Shot for rare WNBA players because they made 2 of them, but I already know she's going to put rebounds. She's going to get some she's going to get points, obviously. And she blocks some shots, too.
Yeah.
So it's she has 3 – she's a top 10 player in 3 statistical categories, at least last season, and typically she is. So being able to play her twice is pretty important. I just don't know if the Storm are going to be that good altogether. If they're all going to still be able to put up stats. The Storm seem like a very crowded team now. It went from a team where you knew who was going to get what to now I don't know. Joelle Lloyd was the point leader last season. Is she going to lead the league in points this year with Skylar Diggins and NECA joining? I don't know.
I don't think so, but I think the team is going to be a lot better.
Right. So that's where I'm going with, like I'm saying, with Fast Break, I'm trying to think, what are the opportunities for fantasy? And I don't know if the Storm are the best pick anymore for fantasy because, you could easily know what Joelle Lloyd was going to do last year. She was going to score.
Yeah, now some nights she might be off and Skylar Diggins is going to go off.
Right, Skylar Diggins might take over. Joelle Lloyd might be more about assists this year and setting people up. I don't know what it's going to be, so I'm going to try to let it pan out. And, yeah, I'm just nervous about, how NECA's going to look and what she's going to actually produce over there. What else? Do we have any other WNBA insights? Any other teams? I mean, Aaliyah Edwards going to the Wings would be really cool.
But she has a 5th-year eligibility too, so
She might return.
yeah, she might go back to UConn again.
So if that happens, Angel Reese is going to shoot up the boards.
And also, she has a 5th-year option too.
Yeah.
All those COVID kids.
But man, would you take Brink and Cardozo? Then Brink would go to the 4. And they have her listed as a power forward, but we all know she's a 5.
Yeah.
She led Division I in almost 4 blocks a game, and she's almost, she's at over 11 rebounds.
That's insane.
She is. So yeah, I mean, if you could start Brink and Cardozo, that would be kind of crazy.
That'd be, no one's getting in the paint with them.
And then it says the Sun are looking at J.C. Sheldon, who I didn't get to watch.
What did she play for? Maryland?
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Big Ten. Good call on the Big Ten, but yeah, wrong Big Ten school.
I had the colors right.
Yeah, you had the colors for sure. As soon as you said it, Maryland, I was like, I know you know who this is. But
I had the red.
Shooting guard, she's 5'10" and a senior. She's in her 5th season, leads the Buckeyes in points, assists, and steals, but the assists are only 3 a game. She projects as one of the top defensive guards in the draft. So she's a 2 guard that locks up, and she does the rest. I kind of like the sound of it. Like I said, I don't know who she is. Typically, I'm more brushed up on these things. But yeah, I don't know who J.C. Sheldon really is. I've never seen her play, so I don't want to say she'll be a good fit or a bad fit for the Sun because I don't know. Elizabeth Kitley. Yeah, I don't know the end
really
of this
good. Kitley's really good.
Kitley's good. They have her going 12 to the Dream.
She's gonna be really good. And they have Georgia Amore, really good shooter. Yeah, Virginia Tech is really good.
Oh yeah, I think they have Amore going like 10th.
Yeah, she's really good too. 9th
to the Wings actually. Point guard, 5'6", which I don't like the Wings taking a point guard because they don't need it. They didn't even play Lulu last year.
I know. And
Lulu was your favorite.
She was. She didn't play a second.
She didn't play a second last year. So why would you, I don't know if they should draft a point guard. If anything, I would draft a big that McCowan and Kalani Brown can kind of just show the ropes to.
So you draft Kitley?
Maybe I draft Kitley there because she's 6'6" too, which is like McCowan and Kalani Brown. So you get 2 girls who could really show her the ropes.
Right.
And also, like, I don't know, just get them more accustomed to the W and just how bigs operate and what they do. And there's no better example than McCowan and Kalani Brown for what Kitley could be.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, yeah, it could be a really good fit. And to just keep all your bigs at like 6'6" or higher in the NBA the WNBA is insane.
Right.
If you got 3 of those, you're going to be a good team. Let me see. I got to look more in the Kitley. 23 and 12?
Told you she's nice.
Holy cow. And she shoots a little 3. She's at 40% this year. She might not have taken many of them, but that's a really good sign. All right. So we'll move on from the W. Next, the All-Star game. I think it was cool. I think a lot more people are downplaying it than it actually was. Like, they're the fucking game, 200 points. Adam Silver's mad. I thought this year was great.
No, I thought it was terrible.
I thought it was a little silly at times, but I think this year was actually good. I feel like it was supreme offense. Like, it was too good to defend. Almost like everyone was so hot that night that, like, even if I don't know. Damian Lillard isn't going to lock up Luka Doncic regardless, right? If Luka's
I don't
trying
know.
as hard as he can on offense, Damian Lillard will never stop him on defense. 6'2", Damian Lillard will never stop Luka Doncic. Why is he going to try to stop him at the All-Star game?
Then they should switch it. Then they should switch. I don't know. It was the offense was good, but it was because no one was defending anybody.
But I think the offense,
threes.
These players are just so good, there is no defense to stop them.
No, I disagree with that. I feel like if they actually tried, if they put in some kind of effort, no one even tried. We don't know what it would have been if they actually put in any effort. Luka Doncic doesn't give any effort on defense, so we'll never know. But it's like no one was really trying on defense.
Yeah, but when you're getting coached by Doc Rivers, you don't try. So it makes sense.
No one's been trying for years.
No one's tried for years with Doc Rivers trying to inspire. So I think it's just part of the course. Like, you put Doc Rivers as the coach, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even coach. He got hired and they said, oh, well, Adrian Griffin got fired and he was supposed to be the All-Star coach. So we're just going to make the guy that got hired 2 days ago the All-Star coach. Like, everything about it, he's getting handed everything, and I hate it.
Bring Adrian Griffin back.
It's so frustrating to see Doc Rivers just, like, he was out of the league, and they said, here, we'll give you anything to come back. All-Star game, the number one team in the East, all that. And very quickly, he just runs it to the ground.
And he said he didn't understand why they called him. He didn't even want the job. Why did he take it?
Everything about it is terrible.
He almost sounds annoyed that he has to coach. I don't even understand why he's so upset. Like, why would you take the job if you didn't want it? And it's like, Not like you're setting him up with the Wizards or something. You have an MVP candidate and 2 All-Stars, 2 All-NBA players.
2 top 75 players ever, right?
Yeah, and you're upset about it.
And he's upset. He's like, I didn't ask for this.
So why did you take the job? And then he said he got 2 offers from some other teams. What are you upset about? I don't understand.
Right. You had 3 options and you chose this one. What are you mad at?
Which was the best option, I would think.
Right.
I mean, what other options were there?
It would be Nets.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it is because they just fired Jacques Vaughn.
So not as good.
So yeah, he could take the Nets and try to convince Cam Thomas how to pass a ball.
Yep.
That's not happening.
Nope. 2 assists last night.
He was boarding up. And I will say, Cam Johnson missed all those threes. He set Cam Johnson up for success. He just kept missing corner threes.
Yeah, he had 6 boards last night, I think.
And I think he had 6 boards in the first half.
Mm.
He went ham. He had 5 like in the real quick. Picked up 5 boards so fast. I was like, I was watching. I'm like, what the hell? Why does he got 5 boards?
Right.
He turned it around last night, but it was Minnesota without Rudy Gobert. They were very small and they were super scrappy last night. And I think the Nets just weren't playing at that speed.
No.
The Timberwolves are a better team. That's why they're an elite team and a playoff contender and a championship contender. And that's why the Nets are middling at barely even making a play-in game because they don't have the roster to face the Timberwolves. At full strength or even half strength, they're not that good.
No.
The Nets messed up not trading Bridges for all those picks.
Right.
Because Bridges isn't bringing you to the promised land, nor is he going to – if you bring it, like, you just got to think. If you bring in Donovan Mitchell, what are you doing still? You have Donovan Mitchell and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Bridges is a great second option. I don't know if he's a guy that I want to.
He's a third option. He is Middleton at best.
No.
He's not even as good as Chris Middleton. To be real, Chris Middleton is at his peak, at his prime, is a better basketball player than Mikal Bridges. I promise you that. He's a better passer, and he's a smarter defender.
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges plays 0 defense. The dude is a traffic cone. I don't care what he's built like. I don't care how he looks. I don't care nothing. The dude does not defend. If you actually watch the games, he does not defend. I know he's got a 7'2" wingspan, and he's 6'6", and he's skinny, and he's in shape, and he's never missed a game, and his cardio is so great. The dude doesn't play defense. I promise you that. Chris Middleton, the only way he made the league was playing hard no matter what. Like, Chris Middleton was a second-round pick that played in the G League and had to be a G League All-Star to then get a look by the Pistons, and then they just trade him to the Bucks because they don't want him.
Idiots.
But this dude got it out the mud for real. Chris Middleton got out the mud for real and is, like I said, is a better player than Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges had a quick little run at Villanova, got drafted immediately in the first round, and then he went to a bum squad and didn't do anything for a whole bunch of years. Like, let's be real here. Chris Middleton got it out the mud and won a championship as the number 2 on a championship team. I don't see that from Bridges. He doesn't have that extra dog where he wants to win. He looks friendly. He's going on Jalen Brunson. I know it's his man's. I know they play in the same city. But he went on Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's show on their podcast, and they're dogging him. And he's just like this guy that, you know, if it's like two teams, he's like on the Nets team, obviously, Jalen Brunson on the other, and he's just like, my team's better than yours. Y'all team don't play no defense. And Mikal's the type of guy that goes, we try.
No dog in him.
No dog. There's no dog in him at all. Like, seriously, like, I'm telling you, this stuff, like, it shows itself. You don't even have to, like, really dive too deep because you just know he's not a dog.
He's not a dog.
He's not a dog. You got a podcast with two dudes who are Knicks, and you know what? They're up there. They're talking shit. They're chill. They're not worried about nothing. Mikal Bridges is like, he's all stiff. He's like, yeah, it's fun for the Nets. Like, he feels like he's a hostage almost for a second. Like, it doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel anything because he's just like, yeah, man, like, I'm just here to get paid. Like, it's like fun. We make money. We play ball. But it's like not like, no, we're here to win a championship. You know, Nick Claxton is the best big in the league. He will shut you down. Don't drive on Nick. Don't drive. Oh, you think Cam can't play defense? Or like, you know, like they were talking about. You seen Jalen Brunson even said it on the thing. He said, or no, Josh Hart. Josh Hart said it. Something about Cam Thomas's defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Mikal Bridges just going, he didn't know what to say. You have Jalen Brunson across from you. He's shorter and plays less defense than Cam Thomas. Like,
Brunson does take charges, though.
He takes a couple charges because
He doesn't.
He's 5'11", and these tall people just trip over him. They don't even know he's under them. Like, but it was just so funny to me that Jalen Brunson can sit there with a straight face and say Cam Thomas doesn't play any defense. He's all offense.
Right.
Let's be real here. Like,
he's talking.
Mikal Bridges doesn't have a dog. He didn't back his mans up when it really came down to it. They said your man doesn't play defense, and he goes, he tries.
Man, I wasn't expecting a Mikal Bridges rant today.
Did you watch the interview?
No.
Did you see the part that I'm talking about?
No. I saw he was on the podcast.
You need to check the pod out at least for a second. And it's the whole time, it's the two Knicks players just harassing him, just talking a little shit, shit. And Mikal just like doesn't even match the shit talking. He doesn't come anywhere near it. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I'm happy to be a guest, guys. I'm on your show. Thanks. I'm so happy. I'm just glad to be here. He's like, have you ever watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
Oh, man. There's this cop that's on it, and he's just so sappy. And it just reminds me of him. I'm just happy to be on the team, guys. I'm just happy to be here. You know? And it just wasn't like, he wasn't on the show to do some Nets versus Knicks. Like, that's what the show should have been. Right. Shit talking, getting the whole city going. Like, Nets versus Knicks, who's better? You know? It didn't bring that type of conversation, and that's what that was supposed to do. It was supposed to create an inner city rival. And what had happened was, it looks like Mikal Bridges just wants to be on his friend's team.
Can't blame.
At the end of the interview, that's what you come away with, is that he's on the wrong team in the same city.
Yeah.
And you just want to be like, you know what? These guys, they need Mikal. He's the third wheel. He's a good vibes guy. And I'm very disappointed because he didn't talk like a face of a franchise.
Right.
He talked like he just got drafted and he was happy to be there. And I don't like that, especially with a rival team. Like, what are we talking about? Imagine if, hear this. LeBron James goes on Paul George's podcast. And Paul George goes, yeah, Anthony Davis doesn't really try too hard on defense. He's more just like a ball me guy first. And then LeBron goes, yeah, AD, he's whatever. He tries. Come on.
Right.
Like, if you compare it to any other star in the league and you actually hold Mikal to the same standard, you want to be a star in this league, that you claim you're the best 3-and-D guy in the league or the best two-way player in the league, like Kawhi does. Like, you claim to be of that ilk. You claim to be a future all-star. You want this $100 million contract. Like, you claim to be all these things, but then when you go on an interview with your rival team, you don't even talk shit to your peers. This isn't like Zach Lowe bringing on Mikal Bridges for new head coach. How you guys doing? Because that's Zach Lowe. Zach Lowe is an golly guy. Yeah. And Mikal Bridges, like, this is what I'm saying. He got brought on by like a Pat Bev, like another team, like another player, his peer, someone who's still in the league, who basically just goes on their pod and talks shit. He went on there and just was pillow fighting. I don't want a pillow fighter. That's not a dog. So I'm out on Mikal Bridges. I am selling the rest of my stock that I have on Bridges.
No.
The Brooklyn Bridge is no more.
The Brooklyn Bridge is no more.
Nope.
Wow. Okay. Man, he had an awful night last night too.
Jesus. So yeah, we actually I want to do a nice little. Can I show a headline? How do I hold on? Let me add something. I gotta remember how I could do this. I could usually. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Create a banner. Here we go. All right, now we're good.
Jacques Vaughn.
Not Jacques Vaughn. Jacques Vaughn.
The guy who wanted to
bars for you. What?
The guy who wanted to center his offense around Ben Simmons.
Yeah. I'm happy about Cam Thomas getting Kevin Ali though. So apparently UConn offered Cam Thomas out of high school to go there, but Kevin Ali left. So Cam Thomas actually, instead of going to LSU, he would have went to UConn. He said he loved UConn guards. He loved all the production from them, and he loved how they ended up in the league, and they were always good and solid players. He loved Kemba Walker. It came full circle to me. I'm like, no way, my favorite player, his favorite player was Kemba Walker, and that's why he was going to UConn. Isn't that hilarious that came out last week?
Yeah. I never seen him smile so much either. He was so excited when he was talking about Kevin Ali.
He was so excited talking about Kevin Ali. He was glowing. He was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. It's kind of funny. You got to admit, it is ironic that my favorite player was Kemba Walker, and my name was Campbell Walker for the longest time.
Yeah.
And now my new favorite player's favorite player is Kemba Walker, and he was going to go to UConn for Kemba and to play for Kevin Ali. And Kevin Ali is a former NBA point guard. Same thing. Like he said it, I wanted to be a great guard, so I wanted to go to UConn.
Right.
And that blew my mind. So now I think if Kevin Ali wants to go in there and get a clean slate, because obviously there's been some weird shit. They've been weird to Cam Thomas. If I'm Kevin Ali, I go in there and say, let's treat this like your freshman year. Let's turn over a new leaf. You're a great baller. You've done all this stuff. You proved it. Now let's start working on something. Give me 4 years. Give me 4 years to get you right. And you'll be where you want to be. I would pitch him like we're back in college again. Like you were supposed to come play for me the way we did before. But this time we're starting here instead of 4 years ago, your freshman year. This is your new freshman year. Let's get it going. Like, reinvigorate him. Get him in that hungry mindset again, like where he wanted to play for Kevin Ali and prove him something. In which last night I think he did. I think he did. He passed a lot. He tried to facilitate. There was a point in the game where he said, like, F it. He started missing some shots in the beginning. And then when the score was around, like, 60, I forget when it was, but I just remember he just started lighting it up.
Well, he had to. No one else was.
Yeah, no one else was. He got to a point where he was like, I'm just taking over. He tried to facilitate early. He tried to do some stuff. Then he had, like, a pull-up three on a fast break that, like, hit left rim and went out. But, like, I think this Kevin Ali leadership is going to be good for him. I really do.
Yeah, because that was the coach he wanted.
Yeah. So it's the coach he wanted. I think he's going to do all right. I think things are going to be good for the Brooklyn Nets. Jock gone, and that's all that matters, really.
Yep.
Because apparently Bridges really didn't like him.
I heard a lot of players didn't really like him in his offense.
Yeah. And so we'll see how it goes. I think Kevin Ali is definitely going to have some struggles this year, and I hope they don't fire him. I really don't, because he's a good coach. He's a good guy. I think he's a good leader.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, but I'm rooting for him. Anybody UConn, I'm always rooting for hard, especially a guy who won a national championship for UConn. If you could do that, and you're not even somebody who gets, like, big recruits, that's the one thing about UConn people sleep on too, is they turn 3-star athletes into first-round draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
They're not taking Kentucky, who gets 8 McDonald's All-Americans every year, and yeah, they got 4 first-rounders every year. But it's like they're not getting the talent, and they're still producing at a high level. I'm a big fan of.
Not off to a great start, though.
Yeah, not off to a great start, but I think that's the best thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Because if they just start winning out of nowhere, then you're like, I can't explain it. Because if it comes too easy early, I never think there's success if there's something easy early.
Right.
It can't be too easy. It's got to be hard. It's got to be difficult. There's a reason why Jock Vaughn got fired, because things are fucked up.
Yep.
Like, Kevin Ali can't come in there and say, we're going to run this play instead of this play, and everything's going to work just because of that. There needs to be now a familiarity. This is now them shaking off. They have a new play set, and they have to now run those plays and shake out all the rust. Find the kinks. Find where they could even audible out of something if they don't like it. The point of when you run an offense through, a motion offense enough, you find where all your hot spots are. People get in rhythm, and that's how it is.
And you can't just figure that out in 2 games.
Right. You can't just figure it out in 2 games.
You can't figure it out in less than a half a season either. So you got to wait until next season, really.
Right. And that was the Quinn Snyder theory last year with the Hawks, which I was wrong on. The Hawks do not look good this year.
They look the same.
Yeah, they look the same. I said it. You're bringing in Quinn Snyder. It's such a smart thing before the year ends. Honestly, it might not be a smart thing to do it that way, because people are already stuck in their funks. And then at the same time, like, you're meeting somebody at the end of the road where they're already upset.
Right.
And now the last thing of that year that they remember is you.
Is you.
Last season sucked.
Yeah.
Remember the last game? We lost by 30. Quinn wouldn't play whoever. It's just like, it's an easy way to also find resentment, no matter what. He wasn't there the whole year. He didn't have to put up with all this bullshit. Like, there's a way that you could just, as a person, you would feel if you were in that situation. You can put yourself in a player's shoes and say, maybe this would piss me off. Maybe I wouldn't like this guy coming in halfway, telling me what to do, telling me this is wrong when I like doing this. The other coach let me do this.
Right.
There's ways that it could go bad.
I do think they like him more than Lloyd Pierce, though. And what's his name? Not Lloyd. What's his name?
Jock Vaughn?
No, Nate McMillan. That's what I was
Nate McMillan. Oh, you're talking about Atlanta.
Yeah. I think they like him more than Nate McMillan.
Yeah, but Nate McMillan came in there and he
I thought
definitely
he was
got it
doing a
right.
good job.
I thought he did a great job as well.
Yeah, I guess the players didn't like him. Trae Young didn't like him, so.
But that was the good part. They didn't like him. You're not supposed to like your coach. In like
I don't
that
know.
way.
Maybe he wasn't like the players type coach. He was one of those old school type coaches.
I know he was an old school type coach, and that's the thing. Lloyd Pierce was someone who was a players coach, and the players walked all over him. Trae told him he's going to do whatever he wants, and that's just what it was. Nate McMillan came in there and said, "No, you're listening to me, or you're out."
Yep.
And there was no ifs, ands, or buts. There was no if, could, maybe, nothing. No.
But I thought they were a lot better.
They needed that to get them straight, and I think the Bucks organization thought that's what Doc Rivers is. And if anyone actually knows who Doc Rivers is, he's a player's coach to the highest degree.
He's definitely a player's coach. He'll let him do whatever.
He lets you do whatever the fuck you want. He's just older, and you don't think that he's like this. He's going to let the guys go wild. No, he's going to let the guys go wild.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to control the locker room the way people think he does. He's not a military like Coach K, Coach Pop. He's not going to go in there and tell you how it is and run it like that. Or a McMillan. They said it. McMillan's too old. His coaching style's old. But what is it really? He's more of a leader.
Yep.
And these people now, they make too much money. LeBron James makes over $100 million a year. You're not about to bring in some old retired player who played 8 minutes a night, and LeBron is going to now listen to this guy. No, that guy gets paid $1.5 million a year, and LeBron makes 100 times his salary.
Right.
There's no way LeBron's ever listening to him. That power dynamic is broken in the NBA. It might never come back. But regardless, at the end of the day, whether it's money, whether it's this, whether eras change, it's people. It's psychology. People never change. It's people work. If you work in like a psychology field or whatever, people know, like in marketing and everything else, people are people. If you go to China, if you go to America, you go to Bolivia, you go to Brazil, if you know psychology, you got it. Like it's a mental thing. It's a people thing. Like if you know how to work people, you know how to do these things, you'll be fine no matter where you go. And that's what I see with like leadership and everything else is it's people skills. And some of these people just don't have that gene. Like they don't have that in them to lead people, to almost be like not a dictator, but almost that level to where you need these people to act accordingly. Like not everyone is born to be a military, drill sergeant.
Yeah.
But as a coach, especially amongst like grown men, you need a drill sergeant. You need somebody that's going to go in there and not crack a smile. Like, I'm not even built for that shit. But I know, like, you need this shit. You need to go in there and have the iron fist that when you drop it, everyone shuts the fuck up.
And most guys don't want that in today's NBA.
Right. Most guys don't want to be told to shut the fuck up. And most guys aren't built to tell people to shut the fuck up. Like, you really need specific people to be in these positions. And it's just funny to me that, like, they say, oh, that's an old style of coaching and all this other stuff. But no, that goes for everything. A football coach on a high school level, if he's just going around practice and going, yeah, run a lap if you want.
Yeah, no one's going to respect them.
No one's going to run the lap.
Yep.
Like, that's what I'm saying is you need some backbone. I know NBA players don't even practice anymore. Like, that's how soft this shit is. They don't hold practice. They don't do anything. They show up game day and go, hey, what's up, coach? And that's it.
Yeah. And
then they go out there and hoop. Like, there's not – it's not as in-depth as it used to be, and it's just sad. It really is. Like, these people aren't being coached that way. They don't care, and it starts from the top. These coaches are player coaches now. They're just there to keep these guys happy. Like, they're not there to actually help them win. You're bringing in a manager of people, and Doc Rivers is not that. Like, he's going to let them do whatever they want, and he's just going to kind of be there. He doesn't hold practice anymore. He thinks it's bad. he stopped practicing with the Clippers years ago. Like he's been over this practice thing. Like he's part of, I think, the most toxic part about the NBA, which is just this behind the scenes, lackadaisical. Who gives a shit? The fans are paying regardless. We don't have to give them a perfect product. We don't have to demand excellence. This is just a money-making league. Like, we're here for entertainment. And that's the biggest problem I see. That's what I see in Doc Rivers. He's just spineless, and he's just there for the entertainment. He's taking the money. He doesn't give a shit, and that's just what it is. He's like, these guys will win. Like, this isn't like back in the day. You know, there's no hand check. You know, like, I could just see him making these excuses because that's what he does every time, and he's just going to excuse whatever. You know, we can't even play defense anymore. Why would we even try? We're just shooting threes. Like,
and he was already making the excuse in the last game before the All-Star break, saying some guys were there and some guys were in Cancun.
That's what I'm saying. Some guys were already in Cancun, so don't play them. Like, he acts like he's like, my hands are tied, man. These guys just don't want to play. They're not trying hard. Take them out. The second you see these guys not trying hard, sub. And you know what you do?
You bring him to
15th man on your roster, the guy who's got a two-way and he plays in the G League half the year. Fucking put that guy out there. Show whoever is slacking. Show Bobby Portis, or honestly, it's not Bobby Portis.
It's never Bobby Portis. He's always trying.
He could try harder on defense.
Yeah,
he's
never in Cancun.
His feet are in the mud. When he's on defense, there's times where he just is standing and looking. I think he just gets caught standing too much. But like Jay Crowder, you don't see him doing shit. Fucking put AJ Green's ass in and play him for the next 2 or 3 games. And you see if you get something different out of Jay Crowder. You will. You will every time. Like, it's something that he doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to piss off Jay Crowder for 2 games. But the thing is if you don't piss Jay Crowder off for 2 games, you're going to be pissed for the rest of the season because you're never going to get what you need to get out of Jay Crowder. It just is what it is. You need him to wake up. You need him to be the guy that you traded 5 second-round picks for. You traded 5 players for a guy who doesn't even try. And it's 5 second-round picks. Do you know how hard second-round picks play when they hit the court?
Like their life depended on it.
Like their fucking life depends on it. 5 players. You gave up 5 guys who would die on the court for a guy who doesn't even care. And this is what I'm saying is, you need to wake this guy up out of his hibernation, or obviously you don't re-sign him next year, but you have to win this year, right? This is a prove-it year to Giannis. He said he wants out. He's probably going to end up in Brooklyn. Let's be real. Giannis is going to end up a Brooklyn Net or New York Knick. He's going to end up one of these guys. And you know what? Why I think he's going to end up a Brooklyn Net?
No, I don't know.
Who's the younger version of Chris Middleton? Who did I
you were
say?
talking about it, Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges. Who's the younger version of Dame Lillard?
Cam Thomas, I guess.
Cam Thomas. Who's going to go in there and actually get the respect of those guys to listen to him?
I guess.
Giannis.
Yeah.
He's going to go in there and say, look, I just left this team of these old guys that do the same thing y'all do. They didn't want to try hard enough. Let's go. Y'all are young. Y'all got no excuse why you can't defend like Dame. Dame's 35. Cam Thomas, you're 23 next year. Play some fucking defense. Mikal Bridges, same thing. Look ahead. Play out of the post. Make a couple passes. Hit set threes like Chris Middleton does. Nick Claxton, play drop. Grab some boards. So instead of me crashing boards, I can actually just get out there and run. Just throw it to me.
Right.
I don't want to keep boxing out. Like, that's the thing with Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez does this thing where he boxes out for Giannis to get the board so Giannis could lead the break. Giannis is old now. Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges are doing that now. You box out so they can lead the break and I run. That's it.
Right.
That's the best method. Like, Giannis needs to stop trying to get maybe an extra board or 2 for the triple-double thing and all that other stuff. Stop having Brook box out so you can get the board and run it. That thing needs to change, and that's the first thing I would change if I brought him to Brooklyn. The young guys are bringing it up. save yourself, Giannis. You could play a little bit harder on defense instead of just worrying about this box out seal that Brook has so you could get a stat padding rebound. And then you could take the ball up yourself. And you don't even facilitate offense. You're just going to run it and do some dribble handoff and do the Tony Snell play anyway. So we all know how Giannis facilitates in the half. If he brings up the rock, he's going to dribble it up. And then he's just going to dribble to a person and he's going to hand it to him. That's what Giannis does. It's not a knock against him. It's just how he plays. So it's like he could see the writing's on the wall. I think he's going to leave the Bucks. You brought in Doc Rivers. This guy is a player's coach. Giannis is an old school type of player. I think he wants a guy that's going to go in there and chew his ass out.
Mm.
I think Adrian Griffin enabled some bad and poor behavior, and I think Doc Rivers is going to do the same thing.
Doc Rivers might be worse.
And they signed him to 3 years. So now the Bucks are paying Budenholzer still, Griffin, and Doc. And you know what is worse than anything is having a coach who's safe.
And he doesn't even necessarily understand why he has the job.
He doesn't know why he has the job. And if they fire him, which they won't because they're paying 3 coaches money already, they can't put a 4th coach.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're stuck with
he's
him.
playing with house money, but he's like, I don't care about any of this. I just want, like, it's like winning the lottery. Like, oh, you want to put $100? You want to bet $100? It's like, I got $1 million. Yeah.
So it's like he already won the lottery and then won it again.
He already won. Nothing matters. He doesn't care. Nothing changes. He hasn't put his blood, sweat, and tears into Milwaukee. You know? Like, it just is what it is.
Look at what happened. You got rid of Bud, and look at this. Look at you now. Now you're paying 3 coaches.
Now you're paying 3 coaches because you fired Bud
who won a championship.
Who won a championship for you. The more and more you think about it, you're like, these good coaches get fired, man, just so quick. And then you realize, like, these teams really don't know what they're doing. They fired Frank Vogel after winning the championship.
Nick Nurse. They
fired Nick Nurse after winning it. They didn't give him no help last year. What the fuck was he supposed to do? He had 4 power forwards out there.
Exactly.
Like, come on now. Like, they weren't setting any of these guys up for success after they win their championship, and then you're going to blame them. You know they could bring you to the promised land. Like, you know they could bring you there. What do you need to bring in a rookie head coach, Adrian Griffin, for? Who knows? He's players first. And, oh, my God, that interview, I think I told you earlier in the year to listen to it. The interview between Woj and Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Bruh. When I heard that, I was like, this guy's not serious. He's not a real head coach. Like, he wasn't conducting himself like a real head coach.
And he did look lost out there at times.
Yeah, he did.
And Giannis never happy with him.
And, bro, he said he's been in the 13 coaching interviews, right? Or something like that. It was like 10, 13. Mm-hmm. He said this was the first time he didn't bring a playbook, and he got the job, so he thought that was good.
That's crazy.
I'm dead ass. Listen to it. Like, I was listening to it, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way this is a real guy. There's no way.
There's no way. This guy is not real.
He's not real. Like, this is a simulation. Like, he just said he basically was saying he tried to go into interviews so prepared this whole time, and no team ever hired him. This one,
so he just
didn't try, and he got the job. So he's like, maybe it's more just like a people thing. Like, maybe they don't really want, like, he's like, the GM and the ownership, they already know how they want to play the offense. They already know how they want the game to be. But they just wanted a good coach.
Right.
So, but in reality, he was just saying, like, they hired a vibes guy. Like, it's just all vibes. Like, they liked me in the interview. They thought I was cool. So they hired me.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. And that's not good.
No.
It's like, it's the scariest thing in the world that he got hired off vibes.
It was good for him for the moment because he got the job.
Right, it's good for him for the moment, but it's not even good for him. And this is what I'm saying is these weak decisions lead to harder consequences. You know, like
with getting rid of Bud, now you have to pay 3 coaches.
You have to pay 3 coaches because you made a weak decision in just saying, Giannis, man,
And
you
now,
know what? We'll get you a coach that's nicer to you. I'm
and now
sorry,
you're
but
Doc Rivers.
and it's what did I say about the Jay Crowder thing earlier? Because you won't bench him for 2 games. Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yep.
Put up with it. Put up with Bud for a little bit. Tell him, listen, this is a little bit of a – you guys aren't perfect. You aren't the perfect best friend match. We didn't hire him to be your best friend.
Yeah. I thought Giannis liked him, though.
That's what people said. But I think with the
and I thought Giannis was very complimentary of him, too. But
me too.
Maybe
but
he just did that because
Bud refused to put Giannis on Jimmy Butler. And Giannis made that comment last year, and the media has just needled that thing to death.
Oh.
And they said, well, Giannis throwing shade saying, if the coach don't want me to guard Jimmy Butler, then I won't guard Jimmy Butler. And, yeah, that wasn't the perfect answer, but at the same time, he sided with the coach, which was respectful. And he said, listen, the game plan was not for me to guard Jimmy Butler. It is what it is. Jimmy Butler went off. He dropped 50 on Drew Holiday. You think Giannis could have stopped him? If you claim Drew Holiday is one of the best defenders in the league and he can't stop Jimmy Butler, the fuck is Giannis going to do with his broken back?
Yeah.
He hurt his back and he came back. All of it is nonsense when you take a step back and really look at it all on paper, not just this one soundbite where he said, coach didn't let me guard Jimmy.
That would be the guy you would want to guard him, though, in Holiday. I mean,
right. You want Holiday to be there. I would rather have Holiday than Giannis on Jimmy.
Because he's supposed to be your best perimeter defender. And
also, Giannis fouls a shit ton.
Yeah.
So, if he's isoing Jimmy for an entire game, and it's playoff Jimmy who holds the rock, and he does all these little pump fakes, and he tries to operate off the mid-range, and he drives and attacks, you think Giannis wants to guard that for 40 minutes? No. He's going to foul out.
Yeah, and Holiday is much more.
He's going to pick up 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes, and then you're going to have to bench Giannis during the playoffs because you don't want him to have 3 fouls before the half. And, I'm telling you, it doesn't even make sense to put Giannis on Jimmy the whole time. Jimmy isn't guarding Giannis the whole time.
And Holiday doesn't gamble as much either.
Yeah.
I think he's a smarter perimeter defender.
They fucked up big time, not just owning up to it. Not just saying, listen, Giannis, I know it's not perfect, but listen, this guy's got a game plan. He's made us the number 1 defensive team. He's structured all these things around you. It works. We'll pick up a new player or something. But listen, we're not changing Bud. Bud is, stable. He knows what he's doing. He might look a little weird. He might not be the, whatever.
He looks like he was drinking the night before every time.
He does.
He looks a mess. His eyes
look like some guy you would just see at a hole in the wall bar, just drunk.
But he's an NBA champion and a 2-time coach of the year.
He's a really bright guy, Coach Bud. And he comes from even the Pop coaching tree, and the real Pop coaching tree when Pop was actually coaching.
Right.
Not he was an assistant in last year when Pop's not even really coaching like that anymore. That's what I heard.
We got Wemby.
Yeah, I guess Pop is more just kind of there. He's more of a manager now.
He seems like a player's coach now. He seems more of a player's coach now.
He's more of a player's coach guy, and the other coaches are the guys who put people in line.
Yeah.
He's just older. I don't think he's got that fire left in him still.
Well, with that team, I wouldn't either. Yeah. I guess if you have Wemby now, with Wemby, he's a lot more excited, but I don't know. With the rest of that roster, I wouldn't be that excited either.
Yeah.
Especially after I've coached all these great players. I've won all these games. I've won 5 championships. And now you have Jeremy Sohan as your point guard.
Right.
Well, I guess he's making that call.
Yikes. Yeah, I know. He's the one making the call to put him at point guard. I get what he's doing. Jason Kidd put Giannis at point a long time ago for half a season just to see what's up. And, you'll learn new things. And I think they're trying to turn Sohan into a 3-4. And he'll have a little bit of playmaking, facilitation, that type of thing. They want him to have that and add it to his game. So what I think they did was, while the team still sucks and it doesn't matter, Sohan, get a little better at ball handling. Like, this is actually leadership I respect, because they're actually trying things to get better in the future, and it does seem to have like more of an end game. It wasn't just like, I don't know, it was done well. It just wasn't successful.
Yeah, you might as well try out new stuff now. I mean, you're not going to make the playoffs or the play-in, so.
I think next year is when Wemby actually is going to want to start winning.
And they'll have another good draft pick too.
Yeah, they'll have another good draft pick. They're going to make a move in the offseason and get a guard. They're going to do something. It sounds like Trae Young going to Texas.
I've heard.
He's from Texas. And it would be really cool, too, to see like the smallest guy in the NBA with the biggest guy in the NBA.
Those lobs to Wemby.
The lobs, the play styles really match.
And you have Devin Vassell.
And Trae Young's trying hard on defense this year, too, which is really cool. So if he could go there and still just keep his energy on defense, just trying, that's all you really need to do from him, is just to try as hard as he can. He's 6'1" and 170 pounds. Like, it just is what it is. He's not that big of a guy, whether he tries hard or not. There's only so much he could do.
Yeah.
But that's the perfect guy to put with Wemby, though.
Exactly.
So we'll see what they end up doing and finding a real guard for him. But I think they'll probably move off like Keldon Johnson next year. Keldon will end up somewhere else. He'll be playing for like Atlanta in the trade.
All those forwards too. They got so many forwards.
They do. They got Sadiq Bey.
They got so many 3-4s. Jalen Johnson, Sadiq Bey, DeAndre Hunter.
Bojan.
Yeah, they got so.
Bogdan.
Yeah, Bogdan.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're gonna do, but yeah, hopefully they find him just like a guard next year or something. All right, so we got two more things left. The Dwight Howard case you didn't really read.
No, I didn't read that yet.
But my God, is a mess. The whole argument is that one guy is saying Dwight Howard brought a friend and forced him to have a threesome.
Yeah, I heard about that. That was
Dwight Howard claims he brought the friend and it was a consensual threesome.
Yep. I already heard about that.
He's not arguing whether it happened or not. He's saying
no, yeah, that they talked
whether it was consensual or not.
Yeah, they were talking about that months ago, I thought.
But it got re-brought up, and now there's actual quotes from the court hearing. That's
and Dwight Howard was in court.
You know, he can't stay off the court.
He can't stay off the court, right?
He can't. Whether it's NBA, CBA, China's basketball league,
or the judicial court,
or the judicial system, or the judicial court, doesn't matter. He's a man of the court.
The man of the court.
Man of the court, Dwight Howard.
Wow.
Yep, he is. He's a man. You know, he does these things.
So he's still in court now?
Yeah, he's still in court. You know, a lot of people are mad about his ball handling. And I think that's really why he's going to court. I don't know if it's the NBA or this guy suing him, but either one.
Both.
They're not happy about the ball hand. It might be they're going in together on this lawsuit. The NBA and the victim are now coming forward and suing Dwight Howard collectively for everything he has to get all the money back, for Kobe, for it all.
For Kobe. You got to do it for Kobe.
He cost Kobe a ring.
He did. Him and Nash.
Soft ass. Pause.
No. We can't even say that anymore. We can't even. It has a whole new meaning.
It really does. It really does have a whole new meaning. All right, so we're done with the Dwight Howard case.
Yeah.
We're done with Josh Gone. We did All-Star Weekend. We did the WNBA. Jello's in Mexico. one last thing. 65 game rule for awards. I touched on this real quick in the beginning. I mentioned Malcolm Brogdon winning it that year because he played all the games and was consistent. So Embiid could have won that year, and I was arguing, as a Bucks fan, a little biased, Brogdon should win the Rookie of the Year because Embiid played 31 out of 82 games, and these motherfuckers tried to give him the award. 32.
Everybody on ESPN. Everybody
at ESPN. Joel Embiid needs the award. He needs the award. It's his award. He was the better player. He played 31 games. And if we could have a rule that stops people from winning an award at 31 games, I'm happy with it. Also, I would like to say that 65 games is a fair rule.
I think it's crazy that guys are complaining about it. It's literally your job to go out and play basketball. You're getting paid tens of millions of dollars, some guys hundreds of millions of dollars to go out and play basketball, not even every night. And you can't play 65 games. And then Jaylen Brown at All-Star Weekend was talking about, they should bring it down to 58. That's insane to me.
Yeah, I think 60 minimum.
It's literally
I'm down with lowering it slightly.
Absolutely not. 65 is too low. That means you can miss 17 games.
I know.
It's crazy to me. It's really amazing. I don't. That's why I said they should just shorten the regular season because guys don't even care about it for the most part.
17 divided by 82. So 17 divided by 82 is 20%. Almost 21%. So yeah.
Of the games, and you still get paid.
So you could technically miss 1/5 of the season and still win an award.
And you still get all that money.
Right, and you get the contract incentives and all that.
Like you're losing money.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy.
I agree. I do.
It's literally your job to go out there and play basketball.
Also, the media is they're using plausible deniability. So they did this with Cat last year. Remember how I showed you that Cat couldn't be traded until a certain deadline? I don't know if you remember that last year.
Yeah, there's some guys that have that.
But before the trade deadline, there were all these talks that, Cat could be traded, Cat could be on the move. And it was like the title of podcasts, like the title of it. And you're scrolling. And I found out he couldn't be traded until this season because he signed an extension. So it was either the media, the people who get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars at Bleacher Report and ESPN, 6 figures, didn't know what they were doing, have no clue what the rules are, or they were just like making up a narrative in a story that they knew was wrong.
And just
you know what I'm saying? Like fake news, like legit fake news. But seriously, and they're doing that again and again and again with a lot of things, and they're doing it with the 65 game rule. They're playing dumb. They're like, so you're going to tell me if you play 64 games, you can't win MVP? And they're just doing this, but they're playing dumb. Because if you actually know the rule, it's 65 games or medical exemption or previous history of injury. It has an asterisk. Why are we acting like it doesn't have an asterisk? Doesn't make sense to me. These people are blatantly lying to people about the 65 game rule. And I'm so glad that we have our own show that I could actually put out this and say this. There is an asterisk. There's a clause. You don't need to do 65 games to win. It is just the standard set. But there is some ways to circumvent that rule. There are loopholes. And to act like there aren't loopholes, the second you do 64 games, you can never win MVP ever again. No, that's not the case.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they don't tell you this.
Yeah.
There is a clause. I found it out when the rule first was made. I read about the whole thing. I read the entire media brief or whatever you would really call it, the press release. I read the press release. I read the whole thing. I read about it. There's a clause. Why doesn't the media mention it? They're getting, like I said, 6 figures to do their due diligence, and they don't. And this is what I'm talking about. What did I say about Doc Rivers? Entertainment League. What did I just say about these podcasts and their fake-ass titles about Cats on the move, Cats unhappy? He literally contractually can't get traded until next January. I was screaming it. I was tweeting it. I was tagging journalists saying you're wrong. I was doing it on Twitter, telling them this is not true. And I would send a screenshot of how it is. And if you try to punch it into the ESPN trade machine, it fails. Why? Because of the contract. Like, these people were literally leading shows with this story. And I'm like, you guys are just like lying. Like, it's not anywhere factually correct. You guys are just coming up with stories and fake trade ideas. It just makes me so mad. And it just comes down to this, is the players treat this as an entertainment league. The coaches treat this as an entertainment league. The media treats it as an entertainment league. It is not an entertainment league. This is the most competitive league in the world playing basketball. This is nothing like, yes, there's entertainment. Yes, people can be flashy, but it doesn't start with the competition. I mean, it doesn't start with the entertainment. It starts with the competition. Like, that is the game. It is, my team is better than your team. Let's see. Let's see. Go on the court. Meet me on the court. Like, let's play. Check up. Like, that's it. You shoot for it. You're right. Shoot for it. Like, that's basketball culture, right?
Yeah, that's what it's like.
If you're right, prove it.
At the end of the day,
prove you're right. Be like, you know, a man of your word. Like, come through. It's not about talk. It's about, can you play? And that's what I'm saying is, media, talking the talk.
Talking the talk.
Not saying nothing, lying, saying a false fact. At least if you came out with an opinion and said, maybe next year Cat gets traded before the deadline. That's a fact because he was eligible after January 15th next year. Maybe you could start saying next year, but they were talking about before the deadline trades for Cat, and I said that's illegal. It's a breach of contract. That'll never happen. It's impossible. So like, that's what I'm saying is I'm tired of the fluff. I'm tired of this pillow-coated world. Everything is a soft wall, soft surface. You can't get hurt. It has to be so nice and gentle and delicate, and the players don't want to get hurt in the All-Star game. And blah, blah. It's all cap. It just all starts from leadership. And if LeBron James says, I'm not going hard tonight.
Pause.
Who else is going hard?
Pause.
But seriously though, if Kobe is playing, like, let's say Kobe and LeBron, both alive, both switch bodies, whatever. LeBron's retired, Kobe's not. This year, Kobe would have went in there and talked shit to everybody and got them going.
Yeah.
He would have said, "Let's go tonight. We're going. We're playing tonight. Suit up, lace them up. Like, we're playing. We're not doing this all-star shit. We're hustling. We're trying hard. Like, and it starts from the top. If Kobe comes in there and says, we're hustling, what do you think De'Aaron Fox is about to do?
Yeah.
Or like something like that. You think they're about to ignore Kobe and him trying hard? No! They would never do that. They would respect it. They would see the best player in the league and see a lion. And you don't want to piss off a lion.
Right.
You know? But when LeBron James comes in there, he's coming in there with his slides, toes all over each other like this, with his nasty feet. And he just goes in there with his slides. He's got his Beat headphones on. He's not even talking to nobody. He's probably just doing his own thing. He's putting on some lotion.
He's just happy to be there.
He's just got his headphones on. He's not communicating. He's not doing anything. This is my 20th year. I just got to look good for the cameras.
Yep.
You know, he didn't go in there and say, we're winning this tonight. The East are going down. And you know it. Yeah. They brought Larry Bird out to do a pregame speech, and these motherfuckers went like this. La, 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 la. They didn't want to hear a word Larry Bird had to say. Larry Bird went out there and try hard, leave it all out there on the court. The second they get out there, Tyrese Halliburton is sitting here going, testing the wind on threes and just putting them up. Like, they didn't try hard. From tip to finish. They didn't try hard. And it was fun to watch, but if we really want competitiveness, we know why it's not happening. You just have to address the premise. What's the root cause? It's the people that actually matter don't care.
Yep.
And it's contagious. It's toxic. And it will ruin the rest of the team. One bad apple spoils the bunch, especially with people. Like, that's the quickest way to drive something down, is you put a bad person in leadership, because then you have one person like LeBron. Now there's 15 people in that locker room, and LeBron said he's not trying hard and he's the leader.
Yeah, no one else is. No one else.
10 people immediately, 10 sheep checked out.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a game of numbers. As I said, it's a people game. You have to know there are, in the world, 90% of people are sheep. 5% are like the dictator type, and then 5% are called observers or watchers. And there's people who like peep shit and are independent. There's majority of, like I said, it's 90-10. There's independent thought, but even the independent thought is cut in half. There's 5% of that side.
Yep.
Is like dictator side. The other side is, I think for myself, I don't want to even control other people. Like, there are people who think for themselves, they're independent, but they don't like power. Then there's the 5% who like power, and then there's the 90% of sheep. So like I said, you got like 10 plus people check out immediately. When LeBron checks out, there's 11 checkouts. And then maybe there's 4 other people who are like, maybe, and then they have their own free will and they can do whatever they want. But that's really, it's people, it's psychology. If you know psychology, you just know how things are going to go no matter what. You have the end result. There are extremes. There are extreme variables. But for the most part, it's a numbers game. It's a people game. And leader checks out, 90% check out right there. The other 10%, you're either trying to dethrone him or do your own thing. Those are the only 2 options you could do. Now, you could try to rally and get the rest of the guys going, see how that works. Or you could just go and be a rogue agent, and then maybe you could just try hard and you put up your points, but you know the rest of the team isn't. Like, it just comes down to that. And it's the same thing with Doc Rivers. It's the same thing with a lot of things. It changes. It just goes with it.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't lead his all-star team. Doc Rivers isn't going to go in there and say, you know, what he needs to say to get these guys to man up and try hard.
Exactly.
I just think it comes down to that. It just comes down to bad leadership and not really incentivizing these guys the correct way. Not speaking to who they are as a basketball player. Like,
right.
You want to have fun. You want to go out there and win, right? You want to, like, it's just these basic things. You want to succeed. You want to make it back to the next All-Star game, right? So it's try hard. Make these people remember you for next year. So when they vote, they go, oh yeah, DeMar DeRozan put up 30 in that All-Star game, man. He was killing Luka. He was killing whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people don't think like that. They think so short-sighted. They don't want the 2 minutes of pain for the big game after. They'd rather just sit in comfort. They'd rather just, you know, DeMar DeRozan go out there, get his little 6 points, get his check. Oh, had a good time in Indiana. I did some deals, Gatorade. I did a commercial. Got some money for being an all-star. But, like, you could be an all-star next year for going hard this year.
Right.
You could be an all-star for 3. You could go to the Hall of Fame if people remember what your efforts were that one time when it mattered. You never know when it matters the most to someone. You never know when that moment is going to click for a fan and say, that's my favorite game of the year. That's my favorite player. That's my whatever. Like, everyone is so different and unique in that aspect where you're a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, a fan can relate to any situation and attach themselves to it, which I give examples of plenty. And it's like, you know, why would you set yourself up to not be in that position?
Exactly.
Just because LeBron's slacking, you're going to slack? Like, you hear what I'm saying, though? Like,
yeah.
When you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. But at first option, it sounds like the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron's not taking it serious. LeBron's the best player in the world. Why wouldn't he take it? If he take it serious, I'm not taking it serious. It's not worth my time. And it's just this contagious thought. But LeBron, he's got all those years in the bank too. He can slack. Not that he should. He can slack because he actually did show up the years before. But like I'm saying, you can't have some old dog in there trying to inspire. He's had his day. Doc Rivers, he's motivated people for 30 years. The story went a little stale. It's a little old.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. He doesn't have that same fire, that same passion to get people to win. He's done it. He's done it a lot. He's won a lot. He doesn't even have that same desire to win anymore. He's won so much. But to someone young and hungry, you need to keep that fire stoked. You need someone in there that's going to add to the fire and not just like, oh, we got to put a log in. Like, no. He's going to make sure that fire is lit. You know, he's not going to manage the fire. He's going to grow the fire. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It could be a long rant about nothing, but I truly believe we're on to something here. I really do. I feel like if it's like I said, top down, if you see the best guy out there working, it just is what it is. Like, I'll give you an example that we can relate to. So when we go out and we play 21.
Yeah, I'm listening.
When I'm going hard,
Pause.
does that bring the best out of everybody?
Yeah, I mean, it might discourage some people too. If you just get every shot to go in, I don't know. To me, I'm gonna play hard regardless, though.
But that's what I'm saying. There are certain people who hoop for the right reasons. These guys, they're not hooping for the right reasons no more. They need to be able to tap back into what got them there. And that's what I'm saying. You need to find someone young and hungry who's not some old guy who's won championships 15 years ago and who's just like this, you know, milestone getter of wins just because he's coached for 30 years and now he's a top 10 wins coach, you know?
Right.
Like, I just don't think that fire is still there. You still got the fire. But, like, if I start slacking, KJ starts slacking. Now, Hawk doesn't even ball on the regular, so why the fuck is he going to even start hooping?
Right. It makes sense.
Someone just commented, what are you guys talking about? It was a long rant, and you're here for the end of it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish you could have been here for it all.
Go back and watch the whole thing.
But, yeah, it was just about leadership and motivation, and if, like, you know, if 5 people hit you up, let's say, no, I hit up 5 people to go ball, right? I hit up 5 people. We all show up at the court. Everyone shows up. They know me. I go out there. I'm not playing hard. I'm not trying. Not whatever. You think anyone else is going to try? I just set up a hoop session and didn't try.
Yeah, probably not.
You could apply this with anything in life. You invite 5 friends out to dinner or out to brunch. You guys are going to go meet up on Saturday, eat brunch, and I don't know, whatever. And then I show up, and then I just walk away from the tab. Or, like, I'm not talking during breakfast. Or I'm not talking to y'all. Why did I invite you here? Like, exactly. It's just like you want buy-in 100%. To do something genuine. For something to feel real. For you to actually feel like you want to put your body on the line, your life on the line. Like, in a sport, it's hard. It's a physical sport. You could break a leg. You could break your neck at any moment. Right. You want buy-in. And I just don't think, like, this is about Doc Rivers. I don't think they have buy-in.
No.
The buy-in's not there. Like, it's just, you can make it about anything. You go somewhere and someone's not genuine, someone's really not feeling it, you can see when people drag their feet. You could go somewhere at a job and you could see, like, a waitress is just like, yeah, you know, the special is some soup du jour. I think it has zucchini in it. And then, or they come to you and sell it, and they come to your table and say, we have the finest chef in all of America, and he made the best zucchini ever. Which one are you saying yes to? The person who actually sold it to you, that actually made you feel like you care, you know? And I just think it's not there. He doesn't have the skin in the game. He's sitting there saying, I didn't even want this job. 2 other teams hit me up. I could have went with any one of them. I kind of just picked this one. Right. You know, like, it just, it doesn't sell your players. You're not sold. If he said 30 teams in the league hit me up and I would only came out of retirement for one, I want to coach Giannis. I think he's the best player in the league. Does that sound better?
Yeah, people would
you
buy.
Try harder for that? Yes.
Yeah.
It's a people thing. I'm telling you, if you tell these people that, man, it gave me halfway through the season, you're coming up with excuses. You should say, listen, these guys their cardio's good. They should be ready for my playbook. I'm glad I don't got to whip these guys into shape. You know,
Right.
Hey, build them up. Say these guys they're ready for what I got for them. We're gonna be winning. But he's not saying that. He's not. And it just is what it is. So after that rant, I hope you guys get the picture. You see me sweating? You got to be genuine. That's the only way it even matters. If you don't give a shit, no one will.
That's genuine sweat.
Genuine sweat, and that's basically. Hold on, we got another ticker. There we go. Scroll this one.
Gotta hang that up on the wall.
If you don't give a shit, nobody will. And I don't think Doc Rivers gives a shit. I'm calling you bluff, Doc Rivers. Do you have anything else? You got any other topics you want to get off your chest?
Nope.
Sonny's real worked up about Doc Rivers.
Sonny totally agrees with you. He felt that one in his soul.
He really did. He's worked up. So you got nothing else? Celtics,
No, I'm good.
Knicks. Celtics Knicks yesterday. You blew the Knicks out. You don't care?
They don't even have a full team. That's what they should be doing. They don't have any Randall or Robinson. I can't get too excited about it.
That's true. The Celtics are a big team.
And the Celtics were fully healthy too, so it's like, I don't know.
They looked so good yesterday. I feel like they just ran like just simple offense and just got everyone the ball. Like everyone just kind of felt like they touched it. Everyone played basketball yesterday. It wasn't some ISO show from anybody. Jaylen Brown looked amazing.
They weren't jacking up crazy threes. They shot the ball.
I feel like it was just they were so calm and collected. They knew they were going to win that game. They didn't overthink it. They just played basketball. They didn't think like, oh, I got to put the team on my back today. Because when Jaylen Brown does that, we already know what happens. Jaylen Brown under pressure is really bad.
So is Tatum.
But when they feel like they could just kind of play ball and they don't have to put the team on their back, they become better players.
Yeah.
Because they make everyone else better. And then Derek White is now drawing two. And now Tatum's catching on a shifting defense. And now he's a better player because he swung the ball an extra time. And now Derek White's attracting the offense, creating gravity, and just getting an open shot for Tatum now. Now Tatum's attacking, the wing, and he just gets this lane to the rim. Like there's so many good things that happen when you pass the ball.
And they don't do that enough.
Yeah, they don't do that enough. But
when they do.
And that's what I'm saying. The team played a total game yesterday, and it was like everybody got 5 assists.
Yeah, everybody passed really well.
Like everyone was just finding everyone that game. The whole starting lineup damn near had 5 assists each, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
That's just the way you want to play. That's the way the Celtics are going to win the championship this year, in my opinion. I think they're ready.
When they stick with the team ball and go away from ISO ball, they're a much better team. When Tatum stops taking the step back threes and Jaylen Brown stops dribbling so much, they're a completely different team. And now they have, with the additions of Drew Holiday and Porzingis, and now Derek White, how seems like he's getting better with the Celtics. I don't know. They got a scary starting 5. Just the bench. You got to see what the bench can do in the playoffs when it matters.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think they got it. And I actually believe in second row Joe now.
I think the Knicks have more depth, though.
No, but I mean.
That's the only thing.
But the coaching is the one thing that I'm questioning is like, Tibbs doesn't really do so well in the playoffs.
Well, I think the guys, he plays them so much, too. They got to be exhausted.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They play playoff minutes the entire year.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. I don't know.
Yeah. You got to see what the minutes are looking like then.
Yeah, I got to see what the minutes are looking. Got to see the health. If
Yeah.
Julius Randle is back, if Mitchell Robinson is back, it
And
might be a different story. But I mean, the Celtics are looking incredible, and I think they're going to win it all.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be probably them and probably the Clippers in the finals.
I could definitely see the Clippers.
That's what I think it's going to be. Celtics Clippers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All righty.
What we got?
Well, it's been a good time, and we give a shit.
just look at your screen. Look at the bottom of the screen.
And if you don't give a shit, nobody will.
Yeah.
So on that note, we're getting out of here, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Adios.